Hi, my name is Brian Voss. I'm the founder and president of Lollaboo. We make baby wearing shirts and other simple baby wearing solutions that allow parents to spend more time with their children. I've been working with Savannah for 6 months. We started just going into Q4 last year, and she started off managing our Facebook ads, and now she also manages our Google AdWords and our Snapchat. I've managed paid social in a variety of ways over the years, everything from doing it myself to working with another agency. Right before switching to Savannah, I had been working with another agency for about a year because I just didn't have time to do it myself, and I was so frustrated because I felt like the agency I was working with wasn't getting as good a results as I could get for myself, and I honestly was about to give up on the whole agency model. But to tell you the truth, I wasn't out looking to make a change to Savannah. I actually saw Savannah giving a presentation on some online event that I just had off to the side while I was working one day. And she just caught my attention because what she was saying was exactly the things that I felt like I wanted to see happen in my ad account. So I reached out to her and said, hey, will you take me on as a client? And I'll tell you, one of the big things that stood out to me initially is it seemed like she understood where Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and these platforms are right now. It wasn't about gaming some super complicated system, but it was about working with how the platforms work and then really focusing on creative and connecting more with customers. And I thought, that's what I think's been missing, because the people I have been working with, it was all about, we have this complex way of how we put out, tens and hundreds of ads and we're changing stuff every day. It just wasn't getting the results and it was super complicated. Savannah's approach was simple, it seemed to be common sense and like it would work, and the good news was it did turn out to work. There's another reason I wanted to work with Savannah, and I think this is one of the huge challenges with agencies. When you work with an agency, you don't know who you're going to get. In fact, I hate to say it, but I feel like at one of my previous agencies, they just gave me not one of their best people. But you don't know who you're going to get. When you work with Savannah, you work with Savannah. And it was awesome to just get to work with somebody that's excellent at what she does. So what kind of ROAS were we seeing in the past? Well, when I first started experimenting with Facebook ads myself, I was able to get like around a 4 to 5 ROAS, but I wasn't doing it at scale at all. So then I had signed up another agency thinking, well, hopefully this agency can take what I can get but do it more at scale. But instead what happened was they did scale my spend, but actually our ROAS was consistently below 2. We were somewhere between 1.5 and 2. And then when I started working with Savannah, basically overnight, this surprised me, but within a couple days, our ROAS actually almost doubled. And right now, 6 months later, I think we're seeing a ROAS pretty average, around a 4 ROAS, and an overall marketing efficiency ratio of about 6, which is excellent. Not just the first month, but the first week of working with Savannah really surprised me. I mean, days into us switching, which she overhauled our account structure and put in some new ads and creatives, but days in, we started seeing double the revenue coming in and better ROAS, and we actually had an excellent month. In fact, I'd say the main thing that just slowed us down is we did so much better than we were doing that I started to have some inventory problems. And Savannah's actually been really great working with me on that too, because when that's happened, we've been able to intentionally scale back our ads some while I've been able to catch up on the operations side. And that is a good problem to have. I'm going to kind of answer that last part. So one thing I really appreciate about working with Savannah is the expertise she has and the initiative she takes. With agencies I'd worked with in the past, I felt like I was driving everything. Sometimes I felt like if I didn't even ask for an update meeting, I might not hear from them for weeks. But I definitely had to lay out the initiatives and tell them to do things. With Savannah, it's not that way at all. She checks in and gives updates every week. She comes to the updates prepared. She comes with ideas throughout the week, even when we're not communicating. I'm getting updates through our Trello board on things she's doing and working on and what she's going to do next. So I love the fact that not only does she have the expertise, but she has the initiative to test things, drive things, and I really feel like I have an expert working on my behalf rather than I'm trying to get somebody to work on my behalf. So how is Savannah at communicating? Savannah's really great at communicating. We work through a Trello board so we can send updates back and forth. Normally if I put something in there, she'll respond to me very quickly, definitely within an hour or two. We have our weekly calls. She always comes prepared. There's always great reporting that's updated. And anything I ask her to do, she does. She actually brings in some really nice reports that integrate with the different platforms too. So you can just see in real time, how are we doing this week? How are we doing this month? How are we doing over the quarter? One of Savannah's real strengths has been working with ad creatives. That's kind of her bread and butter. She brings in new ideas to test and is always testing them to try to figure out what works best. Gives us ideas on things I can provide, whether it's photography, images, or just pulling some new user-generated content, and then she takes it and runs with it. Sometimes I create ads for her to test. Sometimes she does it on her end, herself, or with some team members she has to specifically help with ad creatives, but really does an excellent job at constantly testing the creative and coming up with new ideas for creative. It's great that Savannah pays attention to copywriting. It's something that I feel like the new school of maybe advertisers don't pay attention to. Some of us old folks, I used to work a lot in AdWords. It was all about what was in the 35 characters. And I appreciate the fact that Savannah not just tests the video and imagery creatives and the approach, but also let's experiment with new copy from time to time, because that stuff makes a difference too. And so I've been really appreciative of that and thankful for that approach. I love the fact that it's a simple account structure. It's not this, oh, we have this really complex structure. If you go into Facebook, you don't even know what's going on because there's so many hundreds or thousands of things going on in there. No, it's a simple structure that anybody can understand, a few campaigns, ad sets, and then ads in there, and it seems to work really, really well. To tell you the truth, there's been a couple big differences, and they both really matter. One, I really like working with Savannah. I enjoy our calls, I enjoy her professionalism and her expertise, and it's a big deal to enjoy. This is the type of person you'd want on your team, and that's what you get when you work with Savannah. Even though you're not her only client, it's like getting a great team member. So I've really appreciated that. Two, I really love the initiative she takes and that she's driving things forward. And then of course, finally, most importantly, results. Our results are way better. Our total revenue is better, our ROAS is better, and so that's making the bottom line of our business better. And it doesn't matter how much I like Savannah or how professional she is. If I wasn't getting the results I needed, I couldn't keep working with her. The reality is we get the results, and you also get somebody that's great to work with. Of course I would. Take this opportunity while you can. There's only so many people that she can work with. So if you get the opportunity to work with her, I highly recommend that you do it.